Welcome back, guys. It's been a while since I've done one of these movie reviews, but Superman, if any film deserves it, Superman deserves it. I have seen this film twice now, and I'm planning to see it a third time. Don't know when, but I'll definitely plan to see it before it leaves. Probably before Fantastic Four comes to the cinema. Now, I've given my views elsewhere on David Curran Sweat as Superman. But this is going to be a review about the film itself. Overall review. I'm going to get out of the way. What's my score for the film? Out of 10, I gave it a 7.6, which is about a 3.8 out of 5. That's my score for the film overall. A 7.6. The score itself says everything for me about this film. For me, it's a good film. It's a very good film. For me, it's not a great film. It's not a 9 over 10. It's not an 8 over 10. And this is where sometimes what I wanted this to be like a 9 over 10. I won't lie. That's what I wanted. I wanted to end any debate with this movie. I wanted it to be a 9 over 10. It's not that. Okay? It's a good film. It's not epic. Now, one film this did for me is this is a very good Superman film. I enjoyed Concept as Superman. I had those Superman type feelings of I normally would have when I used to watch back in being an old git back in the Christopher Reeve era, especially the first couple of movies. Loved the feeling that Superman gave me. Loved the feeling I got from Superman in the Superman animated series. Love it. I loved it in the comics I used to read. John Barnes wrote a Man of Steel comic, and that era after Crisis on Infinite Wars, the Superman, the hope. It was basically about hope, the Boy Scout. He was unique. Not unique, but he was the standard bearer for the goody goody two shoes. Batman called him the Boy Scout. He's a guy he generally would always do the right thing. He's there to help. When there's the downtrodden, the put upon, he's a man. He's the man you want to see. That's a symbol. The one symbol here, that's a symbol you want to see in your darkest moments come for you. That feeling of hope. That is what this film had. The problem, and it's not a problem, but the problem is this Superman film is a Superman who's been around for 3 years. It's a lived in universe. He's not the only hero in this film. There's many other heroes around him. We get to see a few of them in this film. And I think while it enhanced the film, I think maybe it took time away from him. And then some of the heroes actually were great as well. Mr. Terrific was great. I liked Hawkgirl. Some people didn't felt meh about her. I liked her. I liked the introduction of the scream, the Hawk scream she had. I thought it was cool. I loved Guy Gardner. This is the element of the film I was the most scared about. Why was I scared? I'm a very big Guy Gardner fan. He's my favorite Green Lantern. And I know a lot of people like to clown on him. And I know there's some comics that clown on him. And I was afraid they were going to clown on him in this film. But I loved it. I loved his attitude. He just had the right snark, the right assholery. He's an asshole, and I loved the type of asshole he was in this. I absolutely loved it. When he stepped to Superman and he said, "Make a move, Big Blue," I nearly wanted to cheer the cinema. Yes, that's my guy now, ready to throw down. Even if he's going to lose, he's ready to throw down. He does not shirk any challenge. Loved him. Oh, Crypto. Crypto was fun. Crypto, I've never seen him portrayed this way, but I love this portrayal. He's a dog. Well, duh. But he's not really a good dog. Like, he's not like the most well-trained dog. He's a handful. And Superman is struggling to control him. I love that whole ideology that, okay, this Crypto is... Can you imagine having a badly trained dog who's also got superpowers? Yeah. It's not a recipe. It's not a recipe for anything good. So I liked him. I liked him a lot. Lex was awesome. Lex was awesome. Let me talk about the bits I did not like in this film. Park Kent was not my favourite. I didn't mind Mark Kent that much. Mark Kent, I think Mark Kent was okay. Is she my favourite Mark Kent? No. Was she my worst Mark Kent? I wouldn't even say no to that either. I think she was okay. Park Kent, I mean, I didn't like him. Don't get me wrong, I didn't like the Park Kent of Man of Steel either. But I did like the Park Kent of Man of Steel for his ideology. I just didn't like this Park Kent overall. Not for his ideology. Not that his ideology was wrong or anything like that. I just felt, I don't know, he just came across weird to me. So that's the Kents out of the way. Jor-El and Lara-El, these are the parents. These are the Kryptonian parents of Superman. In this film, they're given an ideology, which, I mean, they're aliens. So I can't really say it's a bad ideology. That's their ideology. But they're not good in this film. It's a take. I've seen this take elsewhere before. Am I a big fan of that take? No. Well, in the end, Superman's come to Earth. His ideology comes from his parents, who raised him, his Earth parents. His Kryptonian parents really don't have that much influence over who he was, because he wasn't raised by them. Having said that, I didn't see the need for them to make them the way they made them in this movie. But again, I could tell what James Gunn is trying to do here. He's trying to make a Superman whose influences are purely human. But in trying to do that too much, he's almost gone too far in terms of making the Kryptonians pure assholes. I don't think there's a need for that. But that's what he's gone for. Fine. The fight scenes in the film. I enjoy the fight scenes. Now, I enjoy the fight scenes. I enjoyed Superman being very focused on rescuing people. There's a scene where he's fighting the kaiju, and he did not want anybody to get harmed, even the kaiju himself. And he was doing a lot of saving, which again is almost a direct opposite of what went on in Man of Steel. And I think that's on purpose. I think that's deliberate. And maybe you went a bit too far in trying to stamp the fact that this Superman saves people, saves animals, saves, his first instinct is to save everybody, including the person he's fighting. I liked it, but I could see where some people say, it's having a dig at Man of Steel. I could see that as well. Now, there's a scene where he saves a squirrel. That's where I thought it went a bit too much. But I just generally liked. I like that even because what's the word? Personality as Superman. He smiles a lot. He just feels like this is a good guy, a guy I want to hang with. There's no mopiness at all. He doesn't get angry. He just loses his temper, but he loses his temper in a way that's not threatening. There's scenes in here where he leaves America and goes and gets involved in a war, which is a very heavy-handed version of what's going on between Israel and Gaza. And the politics in this film are the politics you can see it coming from a mile away. The politics are not far from my politics, but I can see it's a bit heavy-handed. So he goes in, he intervenes in a war. There's a usual outcry, why is someone getting involved, blah, blah, blah. And he can't say, listen, I went there to save people. And he gets angry at the fact that he's getting torn down for that. Love it. Love all of that. The bit I do not like, and this is part of the message in here, is they want to try and say he's human. I get that. But he's an alien. There's a scene where him and Lex basically have this monologue between, a dialogue, sorry, not monologue, between the two. To me, that dialogue was the weakest part for me, because I didn't buy Lex's motivation, and I didn't buy Carl's response. To me, that was the weakest part of this whole film for me, because normally Gunn's very good at speeches. He's good at dialogue. This is where, like in the Guardians of the Galaxies, when they talk about family, it lands 100%. I didn't think this landed. If I'm being honest, I'm human and. Because I didn't buy it. I'm not saying the message is wrong, but it didn't land for me in the moment. Lex comes across, and I guess is a generational hater in this film. It's quite funny. He's hating just to hate because there's this guy who's bigger than life, and he can't stomach it. It's simple as that. These are like some of these trolls you see on the internet, and to be honest, there's a scene where he's actually got a, what do you call it, a farm of trolls where they're basically, trolling online. It's like he's got thousands of monkeys there just to troll Superman. Superman. I really enjoy this film. I don't want really to talk too long on this. In the end, it's a good to greatest start off for the DCU. It's a very good Superman movie. It's not an epic film. To me, it was not an 8. It's definitely not a 9. It was no Endgame. It was no Infinity War. It was not even Avengers, the first Avengers. That kind of level. It was no Winter Soldier. For me, it was more an Iron Man. The first Iron Man. That kind of level. Yes, a good introduction for the new universe going forward. I do hope that in Superman 2 or Superman 3, we get an epic Superman movie. This is almost like an introduction. People were saying, "Oh, but he keeps on getting beat." This film is like he's 3 years into him being Superman, and this film focused on the first time he lost a fight, and this is what this film's all about. And the person he loses to, well, technically, is himself, a stronger version of himself, as stated in the movie. So I know a lot of people don't like Superman. My wife hated the fact that he got beaten up in this. I never understood that. To me, if the guy can't get beaten up or he's never in danger of losing, what's the point of watching the movie? I never understood people who want an untouchable superhero. I never understood it. I've never been in that camp. So this, to me, was fine. Loved it. I'm going to stop this here because I think I'm talking too much and I'm not really, saying anything new. I enjoyed it. I've watched it twice. I'm going to watch it a third time. I hope it does gangbusters. I'm doubtful it's going to make $1 billion, but I want it to do very well. Guys, if you disagree with me, I want you to guys jump in the comments and tell me what you disagree with, and I'll come back and respond back with you guys. Thanks, guys, and I'm out.